Old Trafford, also known as the Theatre of Dreams, is an all-seater stadium in the Trafford borough of Greater Manchester in England. Designed by architect Archibald Leach and built for around £90,000 in 1909, the Red Devils have called Old Trafford home for nearly a century. They've played nearly all their home games in this stadium since it officially opened its doors for a game on February the 19th, 1910. Crowds surged through the gates during the ground's early years. However, after 2 decades without any real club success between World War I and World War II, the fans stayed away in droves. During the Second World War, on the 11th of March 1941, a German bomb left much of the stadium destroyed, practically wiping out the ground's main terrace. It took 8 years to rebuild Old Trafford from scratch, and the new ground lacked many of its earlier creature comforts. However, the lack of top-notch facilities didn't stop the fans from flooding back into the home of Manchester United. While the stadium was being rebuilt with bricks and mortar, Sir Matt Busby was rebuilding the hopes and dreams of the supporters as he set about reversing the fortunes of the club. Winning the 1948 FA Cup, Man U's first major trophy in over 30 years, saw fans swarming back in their thousands. So, when their spiritual home reopened, there was no stopping the Red Army's return to Old Trafford. The weather was atrocious, but the wind and rain failed to deter the fans. The first game at the reopened ground attracted almost 42,000. Over the next 10 years, Old Trafford saw massive developments with the main stand roof restored in 1954. The addition of a roof over the Stretford end in 1959 completed the ground's cover. Floodlights were installed to facilitate night matches. The old roof pillars were replaced in 1965 with modern-style cantilevering on top of the roof, allowing every spectator to enjoy a completely unobstructed view. With consistent building works taking place at Old Trafford since the rebuild in 1949, the ground's capacity has fluctuated dramatically over the last 60 years. The initial crowd capacity of 80,000 shrank sharply throughout the 1960s, 70s and 80s, when the stands could hold a mere 60,000 fans. Once the Old Trafford's design master plan of the 1960s was completed, and the stadium had become a perfect bowl, the capacity dropped even further to a measly 44,000. This became a huge problem for the Manchester United management. While a 44,000-seater stadium would have been big enough to house the team's 1960s crowds, since then the Man U fan base had exploded exponentially. By 1990, the recently finished stadium was in desperate need of further expansions. The South Stand currently holds approximately 11,500 fans, whereas the opposing North Stand holds more than double that. The long-term goal is to expand the South Stand to equal or better the capacity of its opposite number. The total projected cost of this expansion comes close to the combined cost of recent redevelopments. Estimates are in the region of £90 to £100 million. However, the dent left in the old hip pocket won't take too long to repair. Judging by recent matchday revenue figures, when the Theatre of Dreams becomes the largest stadium in Britain, hosting a whopping 96,000 all-seater capacity, its matchday figures would jump to a season total of around £115 million per annum. Not bad for a stadium that's been under almost constant reconstruction. Currently the largest club ground in England, the Theatre of Dreams is truly one of the great stadiums of the world.